Hi, boys and girls. Miss Lehmann back here for some more Stink and the world's worst super stinky sneakers. I always get like that fumbled in my mouth. It's such a mouthful. We are on Professor Smells a Lot. Next Saturday morning, Stink woke up to the most wonderful smell. Not pancakes cooking, not bacon frying. The yucky, blucky, putrid stench of smelly sneakers. Sweet! His sneakers were wonderfully smelly again, back to where they were before his sister, the human marshmallow, went powder crazy and made them smell sweet as roses. Stink was going to win the all-time world's worst super stinky sneaker contest for sure. And today was the big day, his moment to shine, his moment to stink. What's that smell? Dad asked at breakfast. Don't tell me Mouse dragged another dead critter in here. It's him, said Judy, pointing to her brother. Stink, you reek. Eureka, said Stink. Get it? Eureka? I get it that you smell, said Judy. Stink's entering a rotten sneaker contest today, Mom explained to Dad. Interesting, said Dad. My teacher's going to be there, Stink told them. She said if I come early, I'll be able to meet somebody. Interesting. It's probably just a guy dressed up like a giant sneaker or something, said Judy. Or something, said Stink. Mom, Dad, can I go too? Judy asked. Just to watch, I mean. Let's all go, said Dad. But only if we put that smelly sneakers in the trunk, right, Dad? Said Judy. When Stink got to the contest, Webster and Sophia the elves came running up to him. There's no contest, said Webster. What? Asked Stink. What do you mean? I know it's today. One of the judges caught a cold and he can't smell right, said Sophie, so they had to cancel the contest. No way. Yeah, Mrs. D said, I'm not even in the contest, but I feel bad for you and Sophie, Webster told his friend. Stink could not believe his stinky, awful, no good, very bad luck. You mean I wore the same socks for 6 days and slept in my sneakers and tromped through mud puddles and swamp water for nothing? Just then, Stink saw his teacher, Mrs. D. Mrs. D, called Stink, is it true there's really not going to be a stinky sneaker contest? Well, said Mrs. D, we might have a way to save the day. Really? Everybody asked. Stink, when we heard one of the judges was sick, I thought, who else do we know who just might have an amazing, incredible sense of smell? And right away I thought of you, Stink Moody. The nose. This could get interesting. Stink could be a judge, said Webster. What do you say, Stink? Asked Mrs. D. Me? A judge? For real? You mean I, Stink Moody, get to be a real and true professional smeller? Just call him Professor Smells a Lot, said Judy. Stink's stinky facts. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the stinkiest of them all? Skunk spray contains the same chemical as rotten eggs, garlic, and coffee. Stink bugs are the smelliest bugs around. One of a kind, stink bugs can spit its smelly stuff up to 12 inches. Not bad for such a little guy. So now, Stink probably can't enter the contest if he's going to be a judge. We're going to read the Golden Clothespin Award. In the middle of the park stood a big red and white striped circus tent with a banner that said, Welcome to the ATWWSSSC, All-Time World's Worst Super Stinky Sneaker Contest. Enter at your own risk. Dad and I will wander around and meet you kids back here later, said Mom. Stink opened the flaps and stepped through the tent door. Phew! A great wall of smell almost knocked him over. It was like standing smack dab in the middle of a cloud, a giant, invisible, cumulus stink cloud. Worse than 30 dead elephants. Worse than 60 corpse flowers. Worse than 99 bottles of toilet water. Lined up on tables all around the tent were dozens of putrid sneakers. Each pair had a number, so nobody would know who owned which sneakers. Stink took his smelly shoes out of the bag and set them on the table. You'll be number 27, said a lady behind the table. Stink, said Judy. You can't enter your own shoes in the contest. Why not? Stink asked. Don't you get it? You're a judge now. Judges can't win the contest. That's like voting for yourself for president. So? Stink, would you think it was fair if I were a judge and I picked my own sneakers to win? Not really, said Stink. See, picking your own sneakers makes you a cheater head. A cheesehead? Asked Stink. No, a big, fat cheater head, Judy said. Just then, Mrs. D motioned for Stink to come over to the important table up front where the judges sat. Red and blue ribbons were set out on a fancy tablecloth alongside the shiny golden clothespin trophy. What's with the fancy clothespin? Whispered Judy. That's the award, said Stink, pinching his nose shut, like with a clothespin, and making a P.U. face. Here's your new judge, Mrs. D told the other two judges. Meet James Moody. Believe it or not, he goes by the name Stink. The other two judges laughed. Well, your name alone qualifies you to be a judge, said the woman from Odor Munchers. Thanks, Stink. You really saved the day. Glad to meet you. I'm Mr. Moore. Call me Steve, said the other judge. You sure are tall, said Stink, shaking his hand. Stink, said Mrs. D. This is the man I wanted you to meet. Mr. Moore, Steve is a professional smeller. That's me, said Steve. That's my job. I work for NASA, and they call me the Master Sniffer. They call me the Nose, said Stink excitedly. I want to be a professional smeller when I grow up, but my sister said, What kind of stuff do you smell? Judy asked Steve. Anything that goes up into space, I'm your man. If it's too smelly, we can't have it aboard the space shuttle. Up there, you just can't open a window. You'd be surprised at the number of things that don't pass the smell test. Really? Like what? Asked Stink. Like film for a camera, felt tip markers, a stuffed teddy bear. Bad news, said Stink, said Judy. You can't go up into space now. They won't let you take your teddy bear. Hardy har har, said Stink. Steve the Smeller laughed a deep laugh. What do you have to do to be a professional smeller? Stink asked. Do you have to be tall? Because I'm short. No, but you can't have allergies, said Steve. You have to be good at detecting odors like, say, new car smell. And you have to be willing to sniff bad smells, even a dirty diaper. Stink nodded like a bobblehead doll on a dashboard. I sniffed a whole stinky museum, Stink told him. And of course you have to pass a test. Every few months I have to take the 10-bottle test. I made 10 bottles of my own stinky toilet water, said Stink. Just ask my sister. I sniff scents in a bottle and I have to guess if it's popcorn or wet paint smell, said Steve. Then I rated on a sniff scale from 0 to 4. Anything over a 2.4 on the sniff scale fails the test. Kind of like what we're going to do today. And I passed my sister's way official Moody Stinkathon, Stink told him. Good for you, said Steve. Sounds like you're already on your way to becoming a master sniffer. Someday, I really want to smell a corpse flower. Oh, those corpse flowers? Sure, some humdingers, said Steve. I flew all the way to England once just to smell one at the Royal Botanic Gardens. Whoa! No way! Stink wanted to hear more, but it was time for the contest to begin. Stink rushed over to Smelly Sneakers number 27. He hated to admit it, but Judy was right. But entering his own sneakers was no fair. He, Stink Moody, did not want to be the unproud winner of the all-time world's worst super stinky cheater contest. Stink gave the number back to the lady. I'm not in the contest anymore, he told her. I'm a judge now. No way did Stink want to cheat. He was an official junior sniffer now. A junior sniffer could not be a big, fat, cheesy cheesehead cheater head. Stink's stinky facts. Captain Diapers. Believe it or not, astronauts wear diapers on spacewalks. Real-life master sniffers have to sniff clean diapers before they go into space. Weird stuff they've sniffed. Paint, shaving cream, unyucky sneakers, a guitar, Barney, the stuffed dino. Sally rides makeup. It did not pass the test. Hope you enjoyed today's few chapters of our book. I guess we're going to find out if Sophie of the Elves wins the contest the next time. Have a great afternoon.